I was trying to look then at what we should talk about, and the first thing that came up was the Tucker Carlson interview with Putin. I don't know if you've seen any of that going
I
on.
haven't. I've seen about it. Yeah, I've not watched any of it.
Some immediate political news that we can bring to the fold.
Breaking news.
Breaking news, mate. Not that I've watched it, so that's a bit useless, isn't it?
Yeah, I definitely not watched it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't think I will be watching.
But yeah, SEO.
SEO, man. What do we want to talk about SEO wise? Is there anything?
Well, I don't know. I'm a big fan of it.
Oh yeah. Well, we know that. That's for sure.
We're all big fans of SEO here.
We all like SEO. We're all friends here.
I love a bit of SEO.
I'm going to look at the blogs that I've done before, see if that helps.
Well, I say, what have we been up to this week?
There's been a lot going on, isn't there?
There's been a lot going on. Yeah,
it's good to summarise what we've been doing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. What have we done? We've put together some websites, haven't we?
We've put together some serious websites. Yeah. What was it this week? Well, there's been one that's been ongoing so we'll keep that added, and then we've got another one that's for a surveyor. That's going to be really good. That's going live pretty much today or tomorrow, isn't it? So that's exciting. And we've got one that you built.
Yeah.
Which looks great. That one's a skip hire. So we should put all of these in a case study.
We should do. Yeah. These are the.
And we've got another one for the funding one as well for the which is good.
For this for the initiative.
Yeah, a bit of context around that is it's a. I didn't know that there was a case where charities or charitable funding events need to have a website with all of their information of their vision and stuff, because they did a doc, like was what seems what most businesses do when it comes to doing charity work or needing funding for something, is do a doc of their vision, the reasons and stuff like that. But I didn't know that they need to go as far as having a website that's live with all that information on it for reference for the board or something like that, wasn't it? I don't really know the
it's such an extensive thing by the sounds of it, isn't it? And obviously we've kind of done our little part there, haven't we?
That was good as well. It's all looking good. We've done a lot of websites recently, and indirectly as well. So they're all SEO clients. That's what we have. We only have SEO clients, but we've done 5 website builds in this year already.
And it's only February.
Ridiculous. I did one more as well. That was towards the end of last year, but that was for the salon as well. So
obviously that's still a little bit ongoing, isn't it? A few things to do there.
Yeah, I've got a few things to do on that one.
But we're slowly becoming kind of budding web developers.
I'm not going to go that far. I definitely don't want to have anything like that again, really.
No, this kind of stuff just enables the SEO, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's it. I suppose that's a good thing to sort of go down is the reason for it. I think survey is the first one we should look at. Mainly the main reason we did that one was because from the onboarding process, my initial thoughts were we can't have the best campaign we could possibly do with this build. I never heard of the theme builder before. Neve, not one that I've come across before. It's either really old or really shit. So, and we knew that when we logged in. So the reason
trying to upload stuff, wasn't it? And very difficult.
Yeah, I don't know how much. For those that are like WordPress, like they know WordPress, how WordPress works. WordPress Gutenberg is the OG builder that WordPress gives you if you don't want any themes or any element or anything like that. It was like that when you were editing a page, wasn't it? But then you got the color of the background within there, and it was like seeing Elementor Builder, but in the WordPress thing. And then you had to edit the blocks. But I definitely couldn't work that one out. It's not a long term. It was not good long term. Even if we did do SEO, which even if we did do everything we were going to do anyway on that site, we still see results, but we wouldn't be able to maximize them. And there's no point doing an SEO campaign if you're not going to be able to maximize the opportunity because of this website.
Exactly. So that's really been the reason, hasn't it? Obviously we're not really web developers, but we anything.
We've learned the trick of the trade over the years and managed to hone our craft, so to speak.
Yeah.
But if you want a fully customized website, you're gonna have to talk to someone else. I can't do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
that was just one of them, wasn't it? And then the windmill one was a similar situation. The skip hire one was a similar situation because it was all JavaScript, wasn't it? It was, HTML, JavaScript, and it was all CSS. It was all in the FTP files. So there was no builder at all, no CMS. And when we went to put it on our hosting, it just wasn't going to be possible, really. So that was the reason you did that, wasn't it? But you managed to do it in pretty much a day, didn't you? So
yeah,
it shows how easy it was, easy-ish. But then the rest of them were just sort of, one was a favor, one's paid for. Well, two of them paid for when they had web builds themselves. But it's always nice when there's no problems with it. It's always quite interesting, and you always get into it, get creative with it when there's no roadblock. But when you get roadblocks, WordPress are the worst for it. Weirdly, even though it's the most customizable, they also put the most roadblocks in the way for certain things.
Yeah, it's just a case of back and forth, isn't it? A bit sometimes, but
then you've got Squarespace, which gives you exactly the opposite.
Yeah,
it gives you
no
nothing.
roadblocks, but you can't do anything with it.
Yeah, there's no roadblock, but there's no fucking road, so there's no point actually. Is it? But I mean, it's all right, but it's your basic one. If you just want a really small website that doesn't sell, or it doesn't have heavy parts to it, you don't need plugins for it, then you're all right.
It's it definitely serves its purpose, doesn't it? And it's definitely very good for certain certain directions of site, but there's just that extra layer, isn't there, with WordPress, and that definitely Elementor.
I think WordPress always it gives you too much to be able to do.
Often can. Yeah.
Even though you want that, everyone wants more. Everyone wants to be able to change everything that they want to change, but it ain't half confusing, is it?
No. Yeah, this is it. But you work around that, don't you? You work around the some of those intricacies, and then if you can get past that, which I mean, it's not difficult to there's just some quirks of every builder, isn't there, really? Different things. So
yeah, there's always something you come across that you weren't quite expecting, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
But I suppose the websites have been a lot of what we've been doing this week, although it's probably only like 30%, isn't it? To be honest, because we've still done so much of the other stuff as well.
We've done a lot of we've kind of done onboarded a fair few clients recently, haven't we? So a lot of it has been the kind of the initial keyword research and the on-page optimization, certainly on the top level anyway, and compared to landscape, etc. So really, the real kind of nitty-gritty, not just your blogs and everything, which obviously come throughout the month anyway, for those clients that we're in a position to be writing content for at the moment. But we've kind of done a lot of the building blocks of SEO, haven't we? Really.
That's the best way to put it. Really, is the onboarding stage. There's always that onboarding stage. I think if you go into any SEO campaign and try to do it from instinct rather than having to, going through the procedures. Well, at least the procedures that we've got. Agencies have their own different ones when it comes to onboarding.
Yeah.
But majority of them use the basics in terms of keyword research, competitor research, landscape analysis for what's there already. But I know there's a lot of SEOs that like to go, well, usually not on their client sites, on their own sites, which I've not really done much of, is actually do every aspect, but by instinct rather than writing it down in like a sheet that we do, all the procedures that we go through to make sure it's every aspect is covered. Isn't
we have quite a detailed process, don't we? I think.
I think you need to, and especially 100% with clients. But I think it would be cool for us to test out our own sort of intuition when we're going through a site to see if we could do certain aspects that we do, like on-page optimization. If we just took a site from the beginning and went into every page or looked at everything without keyword research, just going off what we know from looking at the page and then changing the page, I wonder what would happen. It probably would go to shit, is what would happen, because procedures are obviously there for a reason. But
I mean, there is certain stuff in there that you do just have a probably you especially, but you just have a feeling for. I mean, obviously there's
Yeah, of
certain
course.
there's going to be broader keywords that are fairly obvious.
Yeah, there's definitely things you can do without having to plan it or put it down on paper. Like you say, there's things you can just jump in and see pretty much straight away.
Yeah, there's a gap there, or that's clear. It's wrong
Yeah,
keyword, or
you're very good at that when it comes to like content in most forms. Like when it comes to, if you look at a page, we use that a lot of times, and if you see a page for the first time, there might be you'll spot grammar problems like it's highlighted, even if it's not. Like I won't spot them as quickly or as probably as as quickly or as easily as you do. But it's probably one of your natural instincts, isn't it? Just to be able to look at something and go, well, that needs changing. That's not right.
I think so. maybe it's a fallback as well, because I'm just sat there just changing commas and full stops and semicolons all day.
But it's those small things that make the difference. Because if it was one long sentence, it'd be shit, which means it wouldn't rank and it wouldn't work.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, it's like it's like a massive pet peeve. Sound really old
It
again.
is. Commas in headings is your pet peeve, isn't it? It's one of the things that you really, really hate.
Like uncapitalized titles and that kind of thing.
I think sometimes it depends where you put it. Like on a website, I definitely capitalize most things.
Yeah.
But I think if you're doing sub pages and stuff, and like if you're doing a list of H3 paragraph, which is not the best structure, but having no caps in some of them looks all right.
Yeah, H3s are but H1s and H2s I always tend to capitalize, and we've really gone down a very strange.
Very strange. I mean, this is what we do, isn't it? This is what happens. We don't need to plan things. We just need to start, and then
we call this episode "Why You Need to Capitalize Your Titles."
Capitalize your fucking titles. Hopefully that comes across nicely.
Well, we'll do it for you, so it's okay.
Yeah, get in touch.
18.agency.
That's the one. One thing I wanted to look at for my own sort of to sort of speak to you about is the doc that I did the other day. I wanted to look at the highlights of that in terms of the upgraded areas, because I thought they'd be cool to talk about. Because I'm going to start. Obviously, this doc is something we do on a monthly basis, just to probably explain, because this isn't a call. I've just realised it is a podcast. Just give context, maybe. On a monthly basis, what I do is do a doc that basically runs through the coming month and the previous month. So for the February doc, it's all about providing clarity on certain structures within the business as a more of a areas of responsibility of just make sure everyone is just complete clarity, it's reinforced clarity in like a full section of slides, basically running through the different changes within the business, any edits to, or any changes to someone's role in the business. That makes it sound a lot more corporate and a lot more probably serious than it actually is. But
it's just a roadmap, isn't it?
Really? Yeah, from a basic level, there's if you need clarity in every business, and the best way to do that is usually not on a stage in front of everyone. It's to make sure that the people that that want to enforce the clarity, like me, can lay it out as clearly as possible and as palatable as possible. Obviously, that you've got the account manager role now, so we can officially announce that on this pod, can't we?
We can, yeah. You heard it first.
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, it's incredible. It's an incredible feat because not to over just like how amazing it is, mate. But it is an incredible feat because you've been here. How long? When did you start with me on in the SEO delivery department?
Yeah, July last year.
Right, so that's 7-8 months, is it now? Going into February. And you've just become an account manager, which, to be fair, you were doing majority of before anyway for the last 3-4 months. So it's not an immediate. It's not like an immediate change, but it's things like this is and then providing where you want to go in that slide, because that's we want to create clarity around that for everyone, not just you and me. So that's the sort of things we talk about when it comes to like not more serious stuff that people want to just know about, really. And then, I mean, did you see the slide with all the Monty Python sketch?
Yeah.
I thought, yeah, it's fucking great, that one. And I put another slide in here as well about the operational excellence, which is not a concept we came up with, but the way that we've made it look is ours, isn't it? We've sort of taken it as our own. So I suppose it's good to sort of explain what operational excellence is, because majority of businesses, if not all, 99.9% of businesses they're operational businesses, whereas to be in that 0.1%, you need to be operationally excellent, which the majority of businesses are not, because they're just operational. And if you think about it, I mean, you already know this, but it's good to sort of just explain this. If you think about it like a water tank, and the bottom 30% is what's required from a business, what we do day to day, what we do delivery wise, client communications, meetings, strategy, all those things that are required for every single part of the business. And that's usually 30% of capacity, or it always should be 30% of the 100%, because that should always be sort of the ratios. And then there's always bullshit in operational aspects. Like there's always 20% bullshit, which is always just politics usually, isn't it? You can, even if you've not been in an agency for years somewhere else, every business has got like politics, and the bigger you get and the more corporate you become, the worse the politics get, which means the bullshit ratio in the water tank is like there's 30% of you required, and then the majority of the going up to 50% is then bullshit, and then you've got 50% of just diluted bullshit, which is just, oh, what can we do next? What can we do? And that it's all just noise, and that's just operational businesses, and that's how it looks, and that's how it is, and that's how it's labeled. But if you look at a business that's operationally excellent, like what we've built our business to be, it's 40% required, 50% required, because there should always be more required than the minimum, which is what operational businesses do, isn't it? Their required is actually the minimum, whereas our required is always 10 to 20% above the minimum. Because there should never be a case where, oh, just do this for them and they'll be all right this month. That's the bullshit you get somewhere else. And then we've got like 30% of the ideal, which is the projects and the work that we want to be doing, that we want to do. It's ideal work to be doing for us. It's our creative flows. It's what we want to do without any deadlines or any pressures from clients or anything. It's our work instead. And then you want, if do 40% required, 30% ideal, and then you want 40% of, is that right? I've got that math right? Yeah. No, 30%. And then you want the 30% of the rest is in innovation. So if you think of the water tanker again, it's the required, the ideal, and then the innovation. And the innovation is always what increases the capacity of and the size of that water tanker, isn't it? Whereas because of, like, let's flip back to the other way, diluted BS and bullshit is what crams up growth. It doesn't allow the water tanker to grow. Whereas if you always allocate 30% ish of a business to innovation, you'll never have that pressure inside. It will always be expanding. That's just a long-winded way of 2 slides. That's a long-winded explanation of 2 slides that I put in this doc. But I think it's always good to talk about, because operations is obviously my area as well as many other things, but it's always something that I've always taken pride in, is making sure this business is operationally excellent and not operational, because you'll never move forward just being operational.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think you're right. Nothing to add.
Nothing extra to add, Your Honour. I suppose the real reason I pulled this slide up is because I wanted to talk about those upgraded areas, just to see, just flow it out there, because it's always good to highlight what we've done well in the month, all the numbers, all the good stuff, all of the different projects we've got launching and going on. But it's always good to highlight what happens within the team, not externally, where getting clients is the highlight, or as an upsell here, or a website went live there. It's like what happens internally. And I don't think I've listed half as many as I actually think is correct. In this. But I know that recently, especially with the new clients we've come on board, we've had to adapt our way of working in terms of being nearly trying to become as much manual and much in-house PR as possible, to really get the best out of every campaign instead of having to use middlemen or outsourced or whatever. So I think the manual digital PR and the internal in-house digital PR is a place that we've upgraded massively, and I don't even think we've got anywhere near where we want to be anyway. Because we've sort of scratched the surface in what we know is possible from us, and it's brand new for you, isn't it? I suppose the manual side of outreach. It's really boring, but it's always necessary compared to trying to do it through middlemen, where you are guaranteed things, but you're not guaranteed full control of which direction it goes in.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? We've got full control with any manual outreach, like you say, and that's and it can be a longer process as well, obviously, but
yeah,
that it's it results in higher quality results ultimately.
That's it. That's spot on, mate. Spot on. And it's always better to keep things in house if it can be better than if it wasn't in house.
Yeah.
Because if you put it to different scenarios, if you bought someone in house for, if like a boiler company bought someone in house for SEO, the quality that they're going to be able to bring for the SEO campaign is gonna
for the money as well.
Yeah, it's probably going to be less impactful long term, because one person, I've seen it many times, one person goes into a business to do in-house SEO, and then they get off to a good start, because every SEO, if you do all the basics from the start correctly, you will get to see a huge jump from the start, really. But majority of them do the minimum. Then they do what's required to upkeep SEO rather than keep expanding SEO continuously. But when you've got an agency like this, having the ability for manual PR outreach, having that list of journalists, having that list of sites you can trust that are good, it takes a long time to build up and curate those things. And 99% of the time, people just want to outsource that, which, like you said, results will be diluted. Things will be diluted if you start outsourcing, unless you do it right. There are things, like, in fairness, there are outsourced things that are actually top quality, but then you've got to pay for that. Whereas if you've got it in house, you don't have to pay for the top quality service. You can do the service yourself, just the work and the time.
Yeah, it's just the work that comes with it.
Yeah, exactly. And then we reap the rewards. We've already seen it, haven't we, from all the work we've been doing for a few clients on digital PR over the last 6 months, especially. The growth of the domain authority alone is incredible.
Yeah, for sure.
PSC is a good example that we did a very small amount of outreach work for them around 6 months ago, and I think their DA went up 11 out of 100. So it was like, it started at 35 and then we ended up getting it to 44, 45. It was around there. So we're, even that's a small window into what's possible from a small amount of concentrated work.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, that's one sort of aspect of the business we sort of upgraded, isn't it? Which is great. And we brought a new team member on to help with that as well. Like literally at the same time as we're changing the way we're doing things, we brought Big Mont on. Monty Savage.
Yeah.
If anyone's wondering, Monty Savage is his name. But yeah, he's come in straight away. Not doing SEO before. I mean, he's the same degree as you, isn't he? And then he's done his masters, or he's been in the midriff of his masters.
Yeah.
But obviously, like we spoke about last week, SEO and digital PR and all these intricate things that we know aren't taught there, even in a master's degree.
Yeah.
So it's always for him to come in and immediately start doing things. It's great.
Yeah,
it's great that he's managed to adapt to that, and that he'll take it on for his.
Yeah, degree. I think so. He's already taken loads on, hasn't he? PR wise, PR's easier, but
oh yeah,
certainly then that's taught at least. But yeah, he's picked it up ridiculously quickly, and that's what we want. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's testament to your discernment of people and way and way of teaching, because it just happened. I have no idea how, because I just started.
Just go and do that.
Just go do that. Come back to me when you got something.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
which is brilliant. And then, I mean, I've got a full list of things, but I'm not going to keep reeling these off. But I suppose keeping with digital PR as the topic of that section is is the sort of the SEO brain side of digital PR. Obviously, you've got people that do digital PR like, as their full-time job. But then if you bring your SEO brain into that role as well, you've got the full backlink sort of side of things that you need to go and do a deep dive into. And I think that's another place where we've become more we've made it more comprehensive in the way that we do that. Not out of sort of, it's not like we weren't doing it comprehensively before, but because we've got a need to do it now out of this, you know, we've got the campaign is based around link building and digital PR for certain clients. So there's that area there is somewhere where we've just like, okay, we've got this opportunity, we might as well expand our I suppose expand our procedures around that, expand our knowledge around that, which is something that I know you've been doing a lot of recently. Even though it's quite basic in some respects, you still have to use common sense and an SEO brain that's got nous about it to be able to do it effectively. And I know that you've been doing it recently. I mean, you're quite a bit more than me usually.
Well, yeah, I guess so. But yeah, like you say, it's, you bring that SEO, knowledge to it. It's, gives you a different outlook.
100%. It's so easy to neglect that side of things as well. It's what majority of SEOs do, because link building costs money and time. It's two things that people don't really want to be doing, but every SEO that's worth is I don't know the saying. So you have to try and say it for me. Worth is it? I don't know what the, is it worth pinch and salt or something like that? Worth is
worth and salt. Yeah,
that's the one. Would do link building as well as everything else that we do.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't put budgets to that because they don't see it as a requirement or as a necessity within that.
True.
But they should always do. Always allocate something.
Definitely. Well, yeah, we've just only touched on how valuable it can be and how valuable it's been for us with certain projects and clients. So.
Yeah, exactly. And it's always good to be able to communicate that to clients as well, how important it is, and the cost of it as well. Not to invoice them for the cost, but just to make them aware that this is how this side of it works. Because if you report on 4 links built in a month, it looks quite low numbers. But then if you dissect that, it's like, okay, well these 3 out of these 4 sites are above 80 DA, and then they've not been penalised. The content's good, X, Y, Z. And if you go down this list, it's like, oh right, that makes sense then. So having these 4 links is much better than having 20 shit ones. Yes, correct. Bosh. It's as simple as that, really.
Yeah.
So you can snip that up, and people can put that in their lectures. But yeah, I suppose those 2 areas, link building is the area we've sort of gone into here, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there's a whole host of other things that have been happening. I've written down here, we wrote 80,000 words of content in January.
Yeah, we did.
I think
crazy.
It's more than that as well. That's an estimate, but I know it's more than that, which is pretty fucking crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, we've written loads.
You put it into a sort of analogy. It's like 81,000 word blogs, if you want to put it in that respect. So 80 fucking blogs, mate. It's a lot of blogs, and not all blogs. It's just an example, but spread that across the different pages, landing pages, PR pieces, blogs themselves. All these different aspects, social posts as well. I've taken that into account. Probably way above 100,000 now. Thought about all that.
Exactly.
But I love benchmarking these numbers, not to go to next month and go, want double.
Yeah.
But just to show how efficient the content writing process is and how effective it is.
Yeah.
It's quite something.
Well, I don't want to do 150,000 words, maybe, but.
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone wants to do that.
Definitely not manually.
No, but I suppose if you did the calculations, I don't know how I'd compare it to a different agency would do that, because I know that roughly it's about 500 words an hour they quote. But if you do a 7-hour day, is that 4,500 words? Is that right?
3.5.
3,500 words in a day. Right. Times that by 5, 15 years. You alone have smashed that completely compared to what someone else would quote. And it's not down to us over delivering and overselling, not overselling, overstretching ourselves, because it's just it's just it's the process that we take, isn't it?
Yeah 100%.
It's really terrific.
It is and no sacrifice on quality.
That's the main thing, isn't it? You never want to sacrifice quality for quantity.
Exactly.
Have both up.
Yeah. Got to have
And I
both.
suppose the only other thing to mention there is that we've closed, I think in the first week or so of February, closed 4 deals, which is incredible. Maybe 5 actually, because we did an upsell together, didn't we? So
We
that's
did, yeah. So
five in the last 3-4 weeks, maybe, probably less than that. So that's massive, you know.
it is. Yeah, it's huge.
And it's only going to keep getting better and keep getting better.
Exactly, and that's what we want. So, and
100%.
then we'll have more people sat here talking to us.
More people, more clients, more links, more content.
Yeah,
yeah, there'll be more people
500,000.
here. Yeah, that's what it'll be in the next 6 months, won't it?
Yeah.
But I know that we'll have, like you say, we'll have more people on here. I want to get Monty on here at some point. I don't know if he'll do next week, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, he'll bring a new outlook to things with his sort of brain still in uni.
Well, yeah,
as well as
kind of mode. Yeah.
So that'll be an interesting perspective to get because my brain is never in academic mode.
Yeah, mine went out of it straight away.
Yeah.
As
soon as I left school, no more academic mode, thank you.
Yeah, that's it. You don't think about that ever again.
No tests.
No, definitely not.
Life is enough of a test.
Yeah, it is.